Episode 2. Welcome to Borgio Marina. And what a warm welcome it is. Dead of night, abandoned railroad tracks, abandoned buildings, no sign of life. Except for that boat in the distance, I guess. Wonder if there's a story behind that. Is there a character we'll meet that's boating out there right now? Could just be a boat. It just seems so ominous. I guess everything seems ominous at night. Where to first? This looks like the way forward, I would guess. Kind of? Maybe. Seems like the right way. But you can only open it from the other side, don't it? Why did I go around this way? Why am I stupid? Well, if this looks like the right way, then I want to go the wrong way, which is down this way, to the beach. Train doesn't look that old. Not that I would know. I guess I shouldn't be expecting like Wild West train or something. This is Italy. Actually, a few boats out. No, wait. That one is a lighthouse. Wonder if that's a place you can go to. Probably not. Diana doesn't seem to take to the water. At least, not yet. I know once we get into Borgio Marina, there's a little bit of water stuff you can do. Well, I'm glad I came down here. There's nothing here. What about that island? There's probably no reason to go to that island, right? It's just set dressing. The camera appears to have a little bit of issue on uneven surfaces like this. Well, right now it seems fine. Just like this. It's shaky. Just a little bit. Not enough to matter. I know there's a run button. But I like pacing myself. We'll get to Borgio Marina by episode 3, I promise. Probably. I'm late. Should I have been there by episode 1? Nice art though. Is that an alligator? I'll be really late if I walk everywhere like this, rather than jogging. Can we wait for the bus? Unfortunately, no sitting option. At least not yet. Sitting would be really nice whenever I have to take a break between episodes. No one will mind if I open the gate to get through, will they? Good. That way I can get there on my scooter. And now to Borgio Marina. Well, if we're going to take the scooter, I'm going to walk this way first. The Vespa is in bad shape, but walking certainly isn't the best idea. Shafazi? I don't know that word. I don't know any words. Yes, it's Borgio Marina, we know. No jumping, by the way, right? There's falling, but there's no jumping. Usually those go hand in hand. I beg you, my sweet Vespa, don't abandon me now. Keep it up a little bit more. We'll find a mechanic somewhere. Never seen her before. What? What happened? Hurt? Who's hurt? Me? When? She's alright. Rest. Rest, yes. Rest. Sleep. Santa Madre. I'm going back to bed. Where am I? Oh, you go to sleep standing, do you? No, not really. I guess the sleeping animation might be a bit much. Stormy welcome. After a bad fall from my Vispa, I have found myself in a fairy tale villa. Where have I ended up? I wasn't actually expecting like a card for every story event. That'll make filling out the deck of 800 a little bit easier. Nice art on the wall. Interesting. They're all kind of different paintings. Nice attention to detail. I didn't really comment on the paintings in Diane's house, but they were all like photos of her growing up with her grandma and everything. It was nice. Little bit of a, what's the word? Environmental storytelling, I guess. Camera gets a little bit wild when you start running around like this. The camera auto-turns in the same direction that Diane is running. I'm not necessarily used to that. In a game like Final Fantasy, you have the option to turn that off, so that it only turns when you move the right stick. There probably isn't such an option here, is there? Actually, maybe. Hey, these are exactly, I think, what I need. No, wait, it still turns with her, but... Oh no, wait, it was off to begin with, wasn't it? I see. I thought they were on and I was turning them off, but this is not what I was talking about just now, where it turns with the character. It's not a huge issue. Really should have done this all in episode 1, but yeah, it's fine. Play Moonlight Sonata. I don't think she knows how to play. Oh, there's a person here. Didn't even see you. Yeah, let's talk. I guess there'll be time to explore after we've exchanged formalities or pleasantries or whatever. A distinguished gentleman. Distinguished, huh? Not sure if this is my idea of distinguished, but yeah. A different kind of distinguished. Miss, you're awake. Are you feeling alright? Just a bit beaten up. Where am I? You're my house guest. I came across you lying on the ground, soaked to the skin, on the outskirts of the village. You wouldn't snap out of it, so I brought you back here and called the doctor. Let me introduce myself. My name is Orlando de Montoni. Orlando, Mr. de Montoni. Getting information about him from the card before we even hear it from himself. An old professor of anthropology, now retired. Intelligent and cultured. It's hard to say what he's thinking, and he seems to hide his emotions well. Extra information, gotta make sure to check. His stern manner makes him seem even more academic than he actually is. My pleasure. I'm Diana. Diana Caprone. Thank you for your help, Signor Orlando. I need to practice that word. It's probably going to be used frequently. Signor. Is the G kind of silent? I don't know. I'll just say Signor. You were too kind. I certainly couldn't leave you in the middle of that storm last night. Let's not stand here talking. Would you like to stay for breakfast? You must be quite hungry. To tell the truth, I haven't eaten a thing since yesterday morning. I'd happily accept. Follow me. We'll take a seat at the table. My wife has just finished cooking. I have a question. Where have I ended up? We're in Borgo Marina. Well. And it didn't take 3 episodes. I could have gone here in the first episode if I had a little bit more hustle. Less screwing around, talking to myself, and looking at the walls in Diana's room. Oh well. We solved a mystery in the first episode. That's enough, right? I made it. Excuse me, didn't you say breakfast? This is a feast. You're too kind. It's nothing. My pleasure, dear. My family was as hungry as it was large in number. I don't know what to say. Thank you. Don't stand on ceremony. Dig in. So you've come to Borgo Marina on vacation? To simplify things, yes. I'm looking for rest. And to try to understand what I'm looking for, if that makes sense. I think you're a bit shaken up. Are you sure you feel okay, my dear? Sure, don't worry about me. It just hurts a bit here and there. But these brioches are making me feel better by the minute. The main thing is that you're okay. You could have had a serious accident in a storm like the one last night. Just a brief intermission. I haven't used this feature yet, but how does the log look? It goes all the way up. Like, all the way up. Even when I logged out of the game and logged back in, it saved all of that. Wow, what a log. But not all the way up. Not to the very beginning. But it's quite a lot. I'm glad for it. Sorry, just admiring the log. I must say, riding was a bit of a challenge in that weather. But it was when that guy ran into the road. That's when I lost control of the Vespa and... Santa Madre, my Vespa. What about the guy? Easy does it. I parked your scooter on the outskirts of the village. But excuse me if I ask, you said a guy ran into the road? Yes, but I think it might have been a woman, to tell the truth. They were wearing a skirt maybe? And now that I think about it, they had a mask on too. Orlando, it can't be. Perhaps, my dear, perhaps. But we'll talk about that when we're alone. Here it is again. Signorina Caprone, I must get back to work to take care of some personal matters. Finish your food, there's no hurry. And do come say goodbye before you go. You must excuse my husband's reticence. He doesn't like discussing problems in front of other people. What with the storm and the theft last night, he's quite shaken up, even if he won't show it. There was a theft last night? Yes. My husband caught a glimpse of the thief, stealing from our house. He chased him down the streets of the village. That's how he found you. A theft. What if this has something to do with my accident? It must be destiny calling. I must start investigating. Without looking bad, if possible. I know it was an unusual way to make your acquaintance, but I'm glad I did. Thank you for everything, Signora de Montoni. If I just say it fast, it'll cover up any mistakes I made. Probably. I'm not as formal as my husband, my dear. Please, call me Beatrice. Thank you. Thank you, Beatrice. The wife of Professor Orlando de Montoni, a simple and refined woman, she always seems calm and relaxed, but hides a veil of melancholy behind her eyes. Get a lot of insight from the cards, but nothing more. I'll leave you to it. Should you need me, come find me in the garden. Is this the table we had breakfast on? Did they move the vase? For some reason, my short-term memory has trouble picking out the background of the scene we just played. Or was the vase already there? It doesn't matter. Orlando's study? Well, not without talking to him first. Over here. This is more talking position, isn't it? If you were shooting a movie, you wouldn't have Diana stand here to talk to Orlando, would you? It just doesn't fit, does it? It's not really in the center of the scene. Not that it really matters. Signor Orlando? Miss Caproni, are you leaving? I'll accompany you to the door. Actually, I found out about last night's robbery from your wife. I know it might seem a bit forward, but... Can I ask you a few questions about it? What for? Well, Be honest with the man that brought you into his home and nursed you back to health. I'm a writer. An aspiring writer, to be precise. I'm looking for inspiration for some good detective stories, and I think researching a real theft could really help me. I'm having a creative crisis of some kind. That's also why I came to Borgia Marina. He's a professor of anthropology. He should sympathize with the human element, shouldn't he? I really respect creativity. And I think you're a fine young girl. That doesn't mean I don't have plenty to think about, as I am sure you can imagine. I only ask that you rein in your curiosity too. Just a few questions. Of course. Thank you so much, Signor Orlando. Well, if we only get a few... This one is more direct. I fear it might anger him, but he said a few questions, so let's be direct. What was stolen? Nothing. Nothing? Like I said, nothing. Everything had been turned upside down, though. As if the thief was looking for something. Oh, I guess these are the few questions, only those two. Maybe a bit more after this. It was the dead of night, and I happened to be in my study. I heard a loud mechanical noise coming from the main hall. I looked out and saw a masked individual running away. I ran after them. I was right on the thief's heels until the outskirts of the village. But I had to stop to help you, Caproni, after that nasty crash you had on your Vespa. And the thief managed to escape. Brilliant deduction. I don't have any further questions. Could I take a look around the crime scene? You mean around my house? Yes, exactly. Usually I wouldn't agree to such a request. But I must admit you impressed me, Caproni. Despite everything, you didn't hesitate to help us out. I respect your dedication. Limit your investigations to the living room. The other rooms in the house were not affected, and do not need your attention. Left at Villa, obviously. Not sure why I said Villa. De Montoni. Orlando's villa was robbed tonight. Maybe I can give him a hand and find out who did it. This should be read in Diana's voice, I guess, though I'm not really a voice actor or anything near that. I'm just going to read them normally when they're cards. Well, I'm glad I talked to him first. It would be very embarrassing if we tried to go into the door without talking to him first. And he very specifically told us to stay in this room. So what happens when we try to go inside, Diana? Young lady, that is my study. You may not go in without permission. Gotcha. But we did get dialogue. In investigation areas, while you're looking for clues, you can supercharge the chrono lens by using a Joker card. Press right bumper, R1. Supercharge the chrono lens using up a Joker card. Once supercharged, the arms of the chrono lens will turn faster as you get closer to a clue. Like getting hot or cold or whatever. Gotcha. Once you get the clue, the chrono lens charge will run out and you'll have to use another Joker card to supercharge it again. These are extra Joker cards. You'll be given any you don't use as a reward once you've solved the mystery. I want to collect all the Joker cards. Spend 0 of them. If I can. Now we can get clues without the chrono lens, right? Can't we? I think so. Ah, but that's not the area, so... Probably no more to talk to him for clue... or no more clues from talking to him, but... He probably has more dialogue, right? Ah, it moved me. Signora? Or Signorina? I guess there's more. I apologize, but I have a lot on my mind at the moment. Never mind. One more try. And one more try. And just one more. Okay. It worked that first time, in the very beginning of the game. Have a nice day. When we were staring at the wall. Now then. First things first. The table. How do I do this again? Chrono lens. Well, that's the triangle button. Oh, and I guess that takes you directly to the puzzle you're on. The triangle button. Good to know. Just to double check that does do that. No, it brought me over here, I guess, because I moved it, so yeah. Okay. Now. The button I was looking for was the X button. Or the square button, rather. Nothing on the table, the most obvious position. But I did see this treasure chest open. The open chest. The thief must have opened the chest in search of something. The thief went through the chest. What were they looking for? Gold doubloons? They didn't steal the fish. Or did they? No, the past says there was never a fish. What a lonely aquarium. So I can just kind of turn around like this and catch things, right? Although it's kind of hard with the periphery. It's actually much easier to just turn on and off the left trigger. Well, the living room includes the second floor, yes? I assume there are more clues upstairs. Oh. We just got a location card, I guess. I didn't read it, so... Oh, it took me here again for some reason. An elegant 17th century home owned by Professor Orlando, furnished with curious relics and ancient items collected during his travels. How do I see the back, though? I guess this is a description from the back, but I guess sometimes there was extra on the back. Oh, and the abandoned train station. A train station ruined by the passing of time and disuse. You can see Borgia Marina along in the distance. How do people get there normally? I guess do the rock slide? That blocked us on our way there. Could be this too. Nope, that's the triangle button again. I'll get used to it by the end of this episode, I promise. Not that easy, not all the treasure chests, but I did see this open. It was actually pretty obviously open, so don't necessarily need the chrono lens for this. We don't need magic to know something's out of place. The thief went through the drawers. Search the drawers too. Oh. Few obvious things. Can we... No. Can't run while this is out, because running is left bumper. Although left bumper does nothing while the lens is out. Doesn't matter. Just better not to run while in first person, I guess. Looks like the thief searched the bookcase. The thief didn't even spare the books. I don't think I'll find anything else useful here. I should talk to Orlando. But first, more art. Yep, all of the people in this world are animals. Even the Sphinx is an animal. It was already an animal. What's that dragon, though? Kinda cool. Is this? No. Thought the statue head was following me. Just paranoid. A lot of different styles. Okay. Enough art admiration. No option to go this way, right? Just checking. Just breathing it all in. Here.
Hey.
Signor Orlando, I examined the traces left by the thief around your home. I want to understand how they managed to get in without being heard, and why they made such a racket leaving. I'm sure I won't find any more clues in your house, though. And what would you need in order to proceed? A clue of some kind. Could you tell me anything about the locks on your house? You really don't know when to quit, am I right? I apologize. I let that slip out. I understand your desire for privacy, and you have been patient with me. Your tenacity is a good thing, given these circumstances. Last night's storm did a lot of damage all around Borgia Marina. Oh boy. Marasiolo Gattoni is rather preoccupied with the coordination for the recovery operations, and it looks like he won't be able to look into the case. At least for the moment. I suppose it won't hurt to have more proof to hand over when we can pass the case to him. Thank you, Signor Orlando. You won't regret it. All the locks in my house, windows and doors, were made by the same person, Chiajotti. She's a brilliant engineer who lives and works down by the docks near the old town. Maybe you'll find your clue. Chia, engineer, docks. Understood. You know, you seem more like a private investigator than a writer to me, Miss Caproni. If you want, you can just call me Diana. All in good time. Of course. And one more.
Hey.
Found anything, Caproni? No. Alright, time to leave. I like the light coming in. Simple effect, but it's nice. Pretty game. And let's see how pretty Borgo Marina proper is. Is this the highest point? No. It's just a cliff. I thought we'd be at the highest point overlooking the entire town. Oh, well, kind of. There it is. Borgo Marina. Tiny little place, kind of. Only a few blocks, well, what you could call city blocks to speak of. But enough for maybe a few hundred people to live in, or something. I'm not going to count all the windows. Is the number of windows a good estimate for how many people live in a place? Probably not. I know that beach down there has been in a lot of promotional stuff. Is that where we're headed? Where Chia is? I really would like a option to sit down in any open chairs. Even a photo mode might be nice, but that's asking for a bit much, isn't it? This would be the study, wouldn't it? And there's some kind of marking over there, a constellation. Is that the summer triangle? I'm not sure. I don't know constellations. I don't know my Zenith from my nadir. What's this for? Did they have a child? I mean, swings are for anyone. If you have a countryside villa, having a swing would be nice to enjoy the countryside next to the villa. It just feels like less of an adult swing, I guess. Just a guess. Mrs. Beatrice, I wanted to thank you for encouraging me to investigate the theft. It's nothing, my dear. The young need encouragement every now and then. Pursuing your dreams alone can be very tiring. Or worse. Speaking from experience? Yes. But rather than listen to the grumblings of an old woman, why don't you go and enjoy the village? I'm sure you'll find Borgo Marina has a lot to offer. That reminds me, in all the commotion, I never even asked where you're from. Tulin, right? Turin. It's not Tulin. Turin. Turin? I don't know the pronunciation. Tulin is from Legend of Zelda. If I'm being honest, this is one of the few times I've left the city. Turin. Orlando taught as a professor there once. What a coincidence. And you came all the way here? On a Vespa? Exactly. I couldn't find the conventional route, though. I came to a railroad tunnel. Oh, a tunnel, you say? It must have been the old railroad. It fell into disuse a long time ago. Now I won't keep you any longer with my chit-chat. Go and enjoy yourself, dear. No. Long chit-chats are the entire reason I played this game. Or started playing it. I could stand here talking to you all day, Beatrice. But I guess we wouldn't want to make the Signor jealous. Whoa. Look at that wall. The decoration in this game, it just doesn't stop. Little bit of a better view. Now I'm wondering, how much of this town is actually like how far do we walk before we hit a loading wall, or whatever you might call it, and it like teleports us a few, or maybe half a mile down the pass. If possible, I'd like it if the entire village, the entire Borgo Marina was kind of open-worldy. Small enough that you can just wander around every street, every alleyway, every house, almost every house, probably not every house. It'd be nice to play a game like that. Get real comfy. Hey, I would collect it too, but where would I put it? I don't know, your pockets? That's a bit much, isn't it? Even I wouldn't put strawberries in my pockets. What is this, a wine cellar? They must have been really inspired by actual architecture, I think. That or they're just creative. One more.
No.
Enjoy your trip around the village, dear. So is this the main entrance over here then? I see. How do you... There was a bike over here, in the entrance. I guess you have to carry the bike down these stairs. That's 2 flights of stairs. Down 3 flights of stairs. And then over here you can just ride it down. Are there stairs on the other side? Yeah, that's not too bad. Via Val Rouge. Now the question is... Are we good? That's exactly what I wanted. I just wanted to be on the opposite side of the door. Loading between zones is okay. As long as we're not traveling hefty distances whenever we load. And here it is. If only I got here in the first episode. On your tail. Hey. Would you mind taking a step back? I'm trying to get a shot of the panorama. What? Oh, yes, of course. Excuse me. No problem. Actually, am I mistaken, or have we met somewhere before? Oh wait. Or have we never met before? You were not mistaken. I got here last night. It was total chaos, you have no idea. Your timing isn't great. We had a storm like this in haven't had a storm like this in Borgo Marina in years. But look how clear the skies are now. You don't get a picture like that every day. Detail-oriented and fearless. You wouldn't happen to be a photographer. Busted, huh? Caught red-handed. You have the right to introduce yourself. Pawn, Your Honor. And you? It's Pawn. He has a red heart. Wait, why does he have a red heart? What does that mean? What does that mean? Borgo Marina's energetic photographer. Of all his passions, his passion for people wins hands down. His interests include photography, cooking, and chemistry. Okay, I'll take note of that. Photography, obviously. Cooking. That's easy. And chemistry. Cooking and chemistry go hand in hand. And photography, you develop photos using something like chemistry, right? Kind of. So I can loop all of those three together just by understanding he's a photographer. A simple mnemonic in case I have to remember Pawn's interest. For whatever reason, I might need to remember his interests. I'm mainly just looking at this red heart and thinking, I might have to romance this guy? I don't actually know if there's romance in this game. It's a life simulator, so I guess that goes hand in hand, but well, we'll figure it out later. Diana, it's a pleasure to meet you. The pleasure is all mine. If you should need anything, even just a tour around the village, let me know. Unfortunately, I have to head back to the lab to develop some rolls of film. But if you're not busy, come by and see me. My studio, Photo and Photo, is right at the beach. You can't miss it. Oh, and take this too. It's a map of the village. Wow, you just carry that around, do you? A map of Borgia Marina. If you hold it the right way up, it greatly reduces the chances of getting lost. I don't think I've ever used one, but there's a first time for everything. She didn't bring her phone, so yeah, she'll need this. You know, every now and then I work as a guide showing tours around our beautiful little village, so I always carry one with me. Oh, I see. So you give tours often? Even if Borgia Marina isn't exactly the busiest place in the world. Thanks for the invitation, Pawn. I'll come visit. See you later, then. He seems like a nice guy. It was kind of him to welcome me right away. Pawn, a new friend. I have to go meet Pawn at his photo store. Photo and Photo. I could take a walk through town. Meet Pawn at Photo and Photo, the seafront. Well, I think that's the same place Sheer was at. Ah, tutorials. First time they mentioned this notebook, even though I've opened it up before. Gotta talk to Shia at the pier. And also, D-pad. Talk to Pawn. Should I just go in order, or... Let's go distance-wise. Whoever is closer, by the time we get to, I guess, down to ground level. Where's the pier? It's not over on the opposite side there, is it? Or are they both in the same kind of place? The pier wouldn't be at this beach, would it? Let's just start walking. Oh, thank you. This is exactly what I wanted. See, now that we're in Borgia Marina proper, I'm allowed to do this. It can't be a life simulator without benches to sit down in. You reflect better when seated. If I were a giant, I could have an epic skipping stone match. Just the same line then, huh? Now if I could, I would just like to disable the HUD. This would be very easy to use as a screenshot. There might be a single frame in there where there is no text over the screen. Like when the text disappears right now. Some games have buttons that let you disable the little text box on the bottom. Maybe if I just try pressing every button right now. No, I guess not. Well, this game is pretty enough that I can get thumbnails without worrying too much about disabling the HUD, I think. And there's a map. We've got leads, marked here. Okay, so I guess it's going to be Pawn first. Let's say Diana got lost on the way to find Chia, so she needs Pawn's help to navigate this tiny village, which actually looks like we can go everywhere in, Every street, every alleyway, every building, probably not, but if we can, that'd be great. It's actually a lot smaller than I thought. But it's probably just the right size for a life simulator. You can spend your entire life playing Animal Crossing. Well, some people might. No, huh? We're definitely going there later. But even Animal Crossing doesn't have a village as nice as this. Sometimes I wish Animal Crossing games were more like this. More realistic places to live in. Kind of like the city in Wild World, but more homely. Down to earth. No, it can't be. Not every building. Maybe? Probably not. Just knocking on the door only, right? Does every door have lore to it? Is there an NPC for every building? One can only dream. That level of detail. Oh my god, there might be an NPC for every door. I'm not scared of the rain, but I have to say, that storm was terrifying. The worst I've ever seen. It carried on all night. Thunder and lightning. It was like the end of the world. And just to make sure, the same dialogue, we only have to knock once. That's good to know because I think I'm going to knock on every single door. Hey, a garden. Looks like the storm didn't affect it. Who lives in building number 6? That one was 8, so I guess this is 7? That's 3. Addresses are easy in Borgio Marina, kind of. Bless my soul. I thought last night's storm was going to tear this poor village asunder. I was awake as Luisa never sleeps. Alright, Luisa lives in number 6. And I think Luisa refers to herself in the third person. Unless Luisa is like her child, and she's saying that she's always awake because her child is never asleep. No, that doesn't sound right. No one's answering. Maybe one of the people we are going to find in town lives there.
Hola.
Wow, what a downpour. I'm going to have to stop by every single door after every single story beat to hear everybody's single line of dialogue commenting on the world events. It's a dream come true. Bonjour, Sherry. Have you heard there's been an incident? It was a big one. At least 3 people were injured. They called out a fleet of helicopters. And police boats too. You couldn't see them in the storm, of course. The town gossip, I guess. A somewhat imaginative reconstruction. Maybe they're a writer too. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 8. Where are 5 and 7? This one's actually an interesting house. It's really tall, but also kind of narrow. Like, cylindrical. Not cylindrical, like... It just seems like the stairs would have to wrap around spirally, weirdly in a way, on the inside. There are probably real houses like that, though. Did I knock on this door?
Yoo-hoo.
I'm not scared of the rain, but I have to say, that storm was terrifying. The worst I've ever seen. It carried on all night. Thunder and lightning. It was like the end of the world. Did I read that one? I can't remember. And it just happened. Piazza 21... I didn't read it all. I wish this button took me to the most recently acquired card. Asking for a bit much, I know. All roads lead to Rome. It's Giuno or something. Giuno? But only Piazza 21 Giuno lets you go in and out of Borgo Marina, unique in its kind. The centerpiece is some kind of memorial to a lighthouse, I guess. Coiling around it is some kind of grapevine. And that's all I can take note of, I guess. Is this the blacksmith? Everyone is obsessed with these modern contraptions. And what do you get? What happened in the Piazza, that's what you get. Any mechanical contraption is a problem. Did Conan the Barbarian ever crash his car? No, he didn't. Why? Because they were walking, that's why. Modern times. Kind of strange for someone to say in what I guess is 2024 when this game came out. Only 2 parking spaces. And there's our Vespa. Does no one own cars in Borgo Marina? What do they do when they need to, like, leave town for something important? Are there any hospitals in Borgo Marina? What about, I don't know, emergencies? Fire stations? There are probably millions of villages like this all over the world that probably have answers that I'm not used to for those questions. The Vespa is still KO. Oh, we can go in. Let's save it. Hey. It's all about perspective. Again, there might be a frame there somewhere for a thumbnail. Let's have a look around first. Chic ceramic. Does a tiny town like this sell a lot? Well, I guess people need plates. Pretty basic. And why not decorate them? Not sure you can make a lot of money like this, or really make a living. What's written here? Closed due to flooding. Come back tomorrow. I don't know anything about economics of small towns, so talking out of my ass here. No one's answering. Well, they've got a payphone. At least that's that. I hate the rain. Okay. Is this a lost poster or a wanted poster? I'm going to guess lost, maybe? Looks like a child, so I doubt wanted. Although, maybe someone would put up a wanted poster for a child. Who knows what kind of trouble you get up into out in the countryside. Let's see who I could call. Yeah, this would be a given. You kind of, left last night and didn't come back. I don't have enough coins. That'll probably be a story event, I imagine. Or we'll never talk to them until the end of the game. A riddle? Okay, we'll solve it. Together, Diana. You and me. Oh, that's a riddle. Let's take a look. Which movie stars a group of aristocrats? I can't think of anything. A mysterious riddler has left riddles around Borgo Marina. Think carefully about the riddle, and choose the card that has the right answer. It is possible that you might not have collected the card yet. If this is the case, keep exploring in search of the answer card. Okay, so the riddles are kind of collectathon things. Just collect the right card by playing the game. Or something. Oh, nope. Okay, so it doesn't even give us the option if we don't have the right card, or I don't know.
Hey.
You can't trust water. Whether it's from sea or sky, it doesn't matter. Water will turn your legs into jelly in your boots. I remember it well, dragging myself across the soggy ground, my rifle cradled in my arms, my feet soaked to the skin. Lore behind every door. Sure, I'm taking my time. It's not running. There's another constellation. I don't know this constellation. Definitely not the Big Dipper, I guess. Unless it is.
Yoo-hoo.
No one's answering. Let's see. We are... Wow. Okay. Maybe the village is bigger than I gave it credit for. I only walked down this way, and I thought I'd actually be pretty close to getting to Pawn by now, to get that tour. We probably won't need a tour if I go around knocking on every door myself before progressing the story. Maybe I should talk to him first, and then... Yeah, talk to Pawn first. Let him give us the tour, and then go around knocking on every door. Because I don't think the story will progress until we talk to Chia. That's probably the right way to experience this. Just get a little bit lost in the town, don't get too anal about knocking on every door, investigating everything. Take in the sights for once. Unless you're blocked off. Workman? Well, I hope he has a name. I'm sorry, Signorina, but the road will remain closed until further notice. You never know after last night's storm. Safety first. Could just be a nameless NPC. I wasn't sure if this game would have nameless NPCs. With a person behind every door, I would think this workman would be some guy with lore and a house and everything. Uh-oh. Well, we've got a character introduction. I was afraid that might be progressing the story, which would mean I would lose out on my chance to knock on all of those doors I pass by. If I really care about it, I can just start a new game and get back to here pretty quickly. Can I make multiple save files? No. If I miss something, then I miss it. It's fine. At a snail's pace, I've made it to wherever this is. Piazza Santa Margherita. And I don't see the Margaritaville. Unless it's in there. Probably not. While I try to find the Margaritaville, now would be a good time to take a break.